In this video, you will discover 5 easy ways to make him emotionally attracted to you. Now, if you don't notice, you will continue to spin your wheels, give the wrong man the benefit of the doubt, and guess what? Your self-confidence is gonna drop as well. So comment below with I am ready if you're ready to attract that right man into your life. Hi, I'm Antia, founder and creator of the Magnetize Your Man method, and this is the channel where we magnetize your man so that the man you want desires and loves you forever. Look, if you love my jewelry, if you love what I wear or my background, anything else about this video, then do me a favor, like this video, comment on it, and share it, of course, with all of your girlfriends. And of course, don't forget to hit that bell and that subscribe button for more juicy videos coming your way. Also, watch for a special bonus secret on what makes a man emotionally attracted to you. So let's go ahead and dive right into the 5 easy ways to make him emotionally attracted to you. Now, excited because number 5 is pace yourself. Now, what's actually not so attractive is if you're all anxious and if you're rushing the process and if you're all in fear, because he has to ask himself, wait a minute, like she doesn't even know me. She doesn't even take time to get to know me. She doesn't even know who's in front of her. So what's her agenda? Like, what is she rushing at so fast? Does she just want a boyfriend? Does she want to just get married and have babies at her last minute? Or does she actually authentically want to be with me? Now, a lot of men will ask themselves that question if you mean you want to be with them or if you outright just want to have the right relationship. Also, when you pace yourself, that of course points more towards a secure attachment style. Now, of course, what happens for him in his nervous system is when you pace yourself, he feels more spacious. You see so many men, especially if they're more on the masculine side of things, which most of the women that come to me want to attract a more masculine man into their life, like they have this desire to be free. They are concerned to be trapped. So what happens is when you pace yourself is that part inside of them that is afraid to be trapped or wants to be free or all those things actually is going to find freedom. So for example, when I met my husband, right, I paced myself and I even said at our wedding vows that with this ring, I set you free, right? So even within that long-term commitment, the longest you could ever have and the deepest and really publicly witnessed you can have, right, actually very much provide an opportunity for him to feel even safer. And then, of course, allowed him to open up to me even more. So go ahead and comment below. How's that going for you, pacing yourself? Yay or nay? Have challenges with that or not? Let me know. Number 4 is increase your emotional colors. Now, this one I talk quite a bit because you hand a man a resume. You really help him to have an emotional map for himself through mirror neurons. Monkey see, monkey do. So if he sees that you're increasing your emotional colors, so let's say you're not just happy all the time, but you also express when you're sad, you also express when you're angry, you also express when you're exhilarated, when you're silly, you're goofy, you naturally give him the permission to be that as well, which of course makes him emotionally extremely attracted to you because he actually feels emotionally safe. Also, he gets to build more emotional intimacy and trust with you as well. So for example, when I met my husband and he saw me actually breaking down in the hot tub one night, it really showed him, wow, she's actually emotionally available. She's there and she has range because I was this happy-go-lucky. And you could think like, wow, is she always like that? Is she always bouncing off the walls? And he saw this other part of me too, which then of course allowed him to acknowledge that very emotion also inside of himself. Because you see, we all have emotions inside of ourselves, all of the emotions. And we're all secretly afraid to be found out about that we have one or the other, depending on what we judge. So when we then have a partner who actually freely models this to us and basically hands us the permission slip to be that self-expressed, it's total freedom, right? So speaking back into that desire that a lot of masculine men have. Now, we also talk a lot about that in my free Magnetize Your Man dating support Facebook group. So hop on over to mymfbgroup.com and let's have a chat. Number 3 is progress over perfection. This is really important, ladies, because he needs to know that you appreciate him along the way. So, appreciate him for pulling the chair for you. Appreciate him for him paying the valet driver, the valet parking guy, right? Appreciate him for holding the door open. The smallest things in the world. I even do this to this day. I've been married for over 7 years to my incredible husband. And even to this day, I'll just appreciate when he heats the food. I just appreciate when he just texts me at night or whatever, right? Usually we go to bed at the same time. But, whatever, it's just the smallest thing, right? Thank you, babe, for getting the laundry out of the dryer. Never let that get old, because if you hand him a resume that he has to be perfect around you, he's not going to feel safe, right? He's going to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm only going to get appreciated when I'm actually perfect, which pretty much never happens because we're not perfect. And then, of course, he judges himself, which, of course, then lowers his own self-esteem, versus when you appreciate him, he beams, right? He's actually there's more life force energy flooding his system. There's more motivation that's being generated and activated inside of himself to do more wonderful things for him. Now, in research studies, we actually see that with kids as well, right? Reward the behavior you want to see more of. So you don't want to tell the child, well, you almost cleaned your room, right? You put some toys away, but this still is not, the bed is still not made, the clothes are still on the floor. No, you're actually supposed to say, wow, you did a great job putting those stuffed animals away, right? Because then it's much more likely that then that child, right? And then of course it applies to men as well, is actually going to be oh, I wonder how much more appreciation I get if I put my clothes in the hamper and if I make my bed and things like that. So the man will want to do more for you. Try it out. Now, also what I would love to know is comment below if that's easy for you to do, if you have done that, how it worked for you. Love to know. Number 2 is, do me a favor, be optimistic. Look, there's already so many reasons to be negative in the world. And what I really notice is it is really of uttermost important who we choose as our life partner. Why is that? Well, environment trumps willpower. So your partner, which in this case, you are the partner to your partner or to the man that you're dating, you are his environment. So you have direct influence over his nervous system and over his programs and stories. So if you're negative Nelly all the time, or you see the world through a pessimistic set of glasses, right? Something amazing happens, you're well, not for long, right? Or you just constantly focusing on complaining, focusing on what's not working in the world, right? How do you think that makes him feel? My guess is it's gonna make him feel sad, depressed, annoyed. Seriously, every time she's with me, she's complaining, bored, and so on, demotivated. In other words, it's not positive feelings. However, if you're more an optimist, And if like, and I'm not talking about just kind of like bouncing off the walls and like being totally disassociated from how he feels. But what I'm saying is like, if there's an opportunity to see things in a much more powerful way, and we can always have opportunities to reframe something, right? If somebody says, wow, I had this massive problem at work. Okay, I get this. So you have a little obstacle right now that we get to overcome, right? Like we get to, there's just a little invitation right now for growth. He'll love you for that because he can train himself like to actually have his nervous system access different images that lead to different stories, different internal representations, and ultimately make him feel so much more hopeful and optimistic and confident. But when you hand him that, he can actually recognize that and resonate with that in himself, and he'll be so grateful for it. Think about it for yourself. If you come home and there's like a negative, you're just negative and you don't even notice it because, maybe you were in traffic, you're already annoyed, maybe something happened with your kids, if you have kids, things like that. But then your partner or the man that you're dating currently, like, it's actually saying, hey, so what I'm hearing you say is it seems like there's been a lot that happened today, and I would love to hear, like, what are the wonderful moments that happened today? Because they happen today as well, because the brain deletes, distorts, and generalizes reality. I don't know about you, but I would love that. And of course, again, it makes a man really attracted to you emotionally because he knows, like, wow, even when I complain, even when I'm let go, so to say, right? Or just like, chill out. I don't have to be worried about it because you have my back. Super, super important. And then finally, actually, before we go to finally, like the next step is, if you haven't done so already, discover how to trigger his desire to make him back and plead to be with you. Hop on over to triggerhisdesire.com and enjoy. Number one, and this is like one of the most important ones, is presence. You see, we actually have 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and 95%, this is all according to Joe Dispenza, right? Like 95% of those thoughts are literally the same. And where they're coming from is from the past. And so what happens is, the best opportunity that you can provide for a man to actually really feel emotionally safe is being in the presence, because the presence is really the only place where you're in the unknown, where you're in possibility, right? Where you are in the void. Anything can happen, which of course is extremely exciting and makes life worth living. Extremely magnetic, extremely, it's kind of like almost a little mysterious. And this is really where you live outside of your comfort zone versus repeating the same programs over and over again, which then of course become boring, become predictable, right? And then become, of course, also eventually a plateau of attraction. So super important here. So I'd love to hear, comment below, which tip are you going to implement, or are you already implementing in your life, and why? Now, as always, for those of you who stayed until the very end, here's the bonus secret, which is stability. Now, I know what you want to say. Wait a minute, Antia, you just said increase your emotional colors and, a breakdown in the hot tub and all the things. Yes, but it's more about how you relate to all of that. When I was breaking down in a hot tub, I still had a stability inside of my nervous system, right? I recovered within a certain amount of time, which of course was the next day or later that evening, whatever the case may be. So there was a certain stability inside of my nervous system, right? So the man does want to see, is there like a frame that you hold for yourself, or are you constantly collapsing because you're so unstable, stable inside of yourself that he has to hold the stability all for you? And of course, if this happens occasionally, of course, it's a give and take, it's a back and forth, but we're looking for the general approach. He's not going to feel safe with that because he doesn't know what to expect, to what heights it goes. And if it's safe, right? Stability also means safety. So in order for someone to be emotionally attracted to you long term, they also need to feel safe. I'm not just talking short term, I'm talking long term, right? Of course, short term, it like danger and all the things we've known, all the research that danger, and of course, exactly how you feel afterwards, pumping the adrenaline through your system can also be mistaken for attraction. However, that's not going to hold true for the long run. Now, again, if you like this video, like it, subscribe to my channel, click that bell, and of course, share it with all of your girlfriends. And if you haven't done so already, check out the 5 feminine traits men find irresistible in the next videos. Ladies, this is it for today. Much love to you, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye-bye.